Hi guys, how's everybody doing? I'm still alive. I survived. Oh man. All right. So need to I tried to get myself organized to do this because this is gonna be crazy. Um 16 journals, 16 hardcover, just beautiful book cover journals. These are just covers that I've been kind of amassing, and setting aside. Okay, these I'm gonna make that into a journal. I'm gonna make that into a journal. And finally, I was like, okay, I got to do this. So over the last, I would say, 3 weeks or so, I've been working on making tags and, like library card pockets and just, trying to like up my stash of things that I can include in journals. Um, so yeah, I went pretty crazy doing that. So I've also got some packs of that type of stuff that I'm going to put in my shop. Because I was making that stuff primarily to use in these journals, and lots of collage stuff. Just my usual kind of thing, right? With the flowers and butterflies and birds and stuff. So lots of that kind of stuff, and yeah. So I was able to really kind of go all out as far as what I included in each journal. I didn't want to be like limited on how many tags I could put in each one or whatever. And I wanted there to be a plethora of handmade stuff in each one because these covers are just so gorgeous. Um, I wanted to do them justice, you know what I mean? And so I also really wanted to do some more just writing journals. And so, but I love junk journals. I love the junkiness of junk journals. And so these are kind of a culmination of like my wanting to do junk journals and writing journals and just sort of put it all together. And yeah, and this is what we wound up with. They're all pretty much the same size. They're all, a lot of green. Okay. There's a lot of green. They're all pretty much this size, some are maybe a half inch smaller or something, but for the most part, they're 7.5 by about, 5, if you count the spine, the way that the spine kind of curves out a little bit. So see, like this one is a tiny bit smaller. Yeah, this one's like 6 and yeah, it's right at 7. So within about a half an inch, they're all about the same size. So when I was trimming papers and stuff, I just kind of went with 7 by 4.5. Okay. So there's a little bit more of a space on some between the edge of the pages and the book, the edge of the book than others. Oh boy. Okay. So I had to breathe. I didn't do much to the covers as far as, restoring them or anything like that. Pretty much all of them, the spines were in relatively good condition, good enough that with some reinforcement on the inside, I used some book cloth and some other types of things, some fabric and stuff, that I felt that the spines were sturdy. They're sturdy enough for me to stitch through, and they're going to be okay. They're still a little soft. Okay, so these journals are going to have a softer spine. They're not, it's not a hard card in these. So they're flexible, and I really like that because I just like the way that they move, and I like the way they feel, and they're kind of squishy, and um So yeah, what else do I want to tell you? Okay, so I did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on all of these. They all have 5 signatures, except for one. There's one that only has 3 signatures. It was just a real thin little book. So they did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and the reason I did that is because, you know, the more holes that you put in the spine that you're stitching through, the less stress there is on each individual hole. Okay, so you're kind of spreading out the stress on the spine by using more stitches. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but I think anybody who makes journals kind of knows why I'm saying that. If I just put 2 holes, then there's going to be an awful lot of stress on the top holes and the bottom holes. So I did 3. I didn't want to do 5 because I just didn't want that many holes in the spine. Not because of the time it would have taken or anything like that, because I really did not rush myself when I made these. I just really seriously took my time. I did a live sale while I was working on them. I did some other stuff while I was working on them, you know, just to kind of keep things going. And so I really just put my whole heart into them, and I feel like they're really, really nice quality. So that's about the spines. And then I just went ahead and put book corners on all of them, just to kind of give them some sort of cohesive sort of feeling. Yeah, some have a larger book corner like this one, and some have a smaller one. The more like decorative the cover was, that was kind of how I determined which book corners to use. So if the book cover was more understated, then I used just the real simple one. If the book was already like had a whole bunch going on and that sort of pattern would look okay, I used it on there. And plus I had a limited number of these, so I had to sort of choose which ones got those. Like this one, I used those. And if the book cover, the corners were more damaged, I used these ones, because they're bigger and they're, you know, more stabilizing. Okay. I didn't do major crazy charm dangle tassel thing because I just didn't want to detract from the overall look of the book. I wanted them to still, you know, have kind of a classic sort of look. I wanted to maintain the integrity of the book cover itself, because that's why I kept them. That's why I wanted to make these journals, was because of the covers. I just thought they were just striking and beautiful, you know, and in their wear, in showing their wear. Most all of these books are from before 1900 for sure. Maybe a couple were like 1910s or something. I can't remember. But yeah, so there's a couple of them where I actually like this one, this Dickens. It, you know, I just really was determined that I was going to save the spine, you know. So I just, you know, I just put some book tape on it. I just did book tape, and you know, if it starts to kind of fray, because it's like there's fabric. It's a fabric like tape. And if it starts to kind of fray or whatever, I think that's totally fine. It's not that it needed the tape to necessarily hold it together. I just kind of like the look of it. And they're like, this one had a tear right there, and I've glued it all down, but I just sort of liked how it looked with the book tape. I don't know. So I just added it. It's not really that important as far as to maintain the spine, but I don't know. It just kind of makes it look sort of, I don't know. You know what I mean? Anyway. Okay. So let's look through a couple of these. This one is probably like one of my favorites, just because the cover was so worn and, you know, distressed. This one's really cute too. See, this one's got a little bit of book tape on it. And I've been fighting with silk, like, strands for days. Okay, so let me do this. Let's get into it. And I will, I'll flip through a couple of them so you can kind of see. As far as the closures, this is some Sari silk that I dyed a long time ago, and it's been just like in this knotted up mess in my box. And so I've been pulling it out and actually ironing it. And that took me a good deal of time just to iron it. But isn't it pretty? I just love it. I love the kind of variegated sort of color in it. And it's like a chiffon. This one is. Some of them aren't, but this one in particular, I just love it. And I got new rings. So Alex made me a ring. Just in case anybody's ever curious about why does she wear those rings? They're super distracting. I know they're distracting, and they are. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, my son makes spoon rings, and I make spoon rings, and it's just something that I like to do. I like them, and I know they're kind of like, wow, that's a gigantic ring, but I don't go anywhere, so you know what I mean? It's like, anyway, so I just like them. That's why I wear them. Okay, so yeah, so I just did a key on a piece of ball chain on each cover. That's it, just a key. And then the little name tag. Oh, the names. I promise I'm going to open this book, you guys. I'm already like 11 minutes in, but I'm sorry. I did want to do some explanation about stuff before I got into it, though. The names. So I went and I just searched up on Google most popular names from 1880, and that's how I named all the books. So anyway, okay. So each one is going to have the same types of things paper clipped in, and probably the same number of pockets and stuff, except for that one that only has 3 signatures. So I did some library pockets on the front and each one, and then just some collaged tags and stuff. So I pulled a bunch of that bank ephemera, that I've been kind of selling and stuff here and there. So there's some some actual like ephemera. This is from 1912. It was like a deposit slip. This one's got this is like a reproduction of a postcard, but there's some ledger paper from Reading Railroad. I bought a ledger off of eBay that was actually from Reading Railroad, and I thought that was pretty cool. So it was like a login of this is obviously a blank page, but it was like all of the crew of the each trip like signed in on this ledger. So I have a bunch of the pages where they signed in too, and a bunch of people actually got those pages because I sold some of those packs. And then just a page from that Rose book that I had picked up that I love. Some children's writing paper. You'll see it's kind of junky in that there's book pages and stuff and ephemera, but for the most part they're gonna be writing friendly. This was another like a ledger that was real long, and the pages fit perfect when I just folded them in half. So this is like a cardstock. Some music paper. It was just a symphony, but it's beautiful music. And this was a book from like 1900. Some more like writing paper, kids writing paper. This is a different ledger. This was a collection book from the bank. Some grid paper. This is the paper from the books that I got all of that banking ephemera from. These are the divider pages that that stuff was all in. And I love that it's got the letters and stuff. I added eyelets on some of these. And there's a few where I had to reinforce it, and I just used some masking tape and just glued it on, and you know, it looks kind of junky and cool, just to make sure it was sturdy. And then, you know, there's some like blank checks, and I actually pulled a bunch of letters from the bank ephemera box and just added some, you know, some letters that were written to the bank. I sat in bed one night and just added sorry and stuff onto paper clips. Like I just literally, like for like 3 hours, I just sat there doing that. Just kind of like vegging out, you know, watching TV, or watching YouTube. This is just a business card that I got in a box of ephemera. It was like 1910 or something. It was, you know, like a perfumery. This is some paper from a Dover book on Art Nouveau, like design and stuff. And so I just cut the book apart and used some of the paper. And then there's a couple little tags. So this is an envelope that I used. And so you could write on the back of the envelope too if you wanted to. So see, there's just kind of like real writing paper heavy. But then I couldn't help myself. I just had to add some book pages and stuff. And then this is some of the sorry that I ironed. And, you know, where there was holes on some of these types of pages, I just strung it through. It's not tied or anything, and it's not glued in there. Like you could pull it out if you wanted to. Yeah, just lots of fun, pretty stuff. This is a newer book, but I don't know. I just love roses, and so I pulled a bunch of the pages to fussy cut the flowers. And so, you know, it's funny. You can see my lines, my pencil lines, when I do my binding, but I don't care. Like, I like that. I don't know. I like that you can sort of see what my process is a little bit. Like, it's not a big mystery or anything. This is another one of those little business cards, and I use some of those Tim Holtz pins. They've got that little coil on the top, and you know, just stuck one of those little cards in there, and that still flips out. Some what you call it, paper, you know, kind of nature themed, and just pretty stuff. Some little French flashcards, some Rolodex cards, some more bank ephemera, and then a little book page from one of my little flower field guides. This is from another ledger from the bank, 1910. You can see it's like all the adding machine. It's really cool. That ledger is neat. At the bottom, it's like the balance of the bank's, like how much silver they have on hand and gold, and then like all their cash deposits and stuff. So there's some tags. Use just some simpler stuff in some of the pockets, but mostly if I use something like this, it's because I didn't want them to get too bulky. So this is from that German book that I have. And then just some simple images. Some of the images I got from Mrs. Coggs, and some I actually got from Tracie Fox, and some are just from book pages. Some, like this one, I know Tracie Fox has a kit in her shop that this image is in it. It's an open source image, but I think I got this off the internet, but I know she has those. So if you like mushrooms and stuff, those are really cool. They're really pretty. And she's kind of edited them, so like enhanced them, I guess, a little bit or something. I don't know what she did, but they look a little bit better on Tracie's, in Tracie's kit. So, and then I have a whole bunch of postcards where I didn't like the picture that was on the front. So I just kind of put another picture on the front and then just stitched around it, especially if they're blank. It's a good way to like repurpose postcards. And then just some more collaging and some old vintage fabric. It's probably fabric from the 40s. And then I did some little loopies on some paper clips that night while I was just hanging out in my room, and I wasn't feeling good, but I still wanted to be productive. And so I just put little loops on a bunch of paper clips and then added some charms onto them. And just stuck the paper clips in here and there. This is a different ledger. This is from, I think it was 1837, I think. And yeah, I don't remember what the whole purpose was to that ledger, but it's pretty old. Sorry guys, I know I'm just going super slow, but this was a book, like a nature book that I think is in German. I'm not sure. I think it is German though. And it's just like, it's kind of cool because it's got like a section on birds, a section on flowers, and then trees and fungus or fungi, and all kinds of different things that are nature, you know. And cool illustrations. So I did add eyelets on some of the pages, but I didn't do anything to it, right? Like I didn't add a charm or anything on it. And I do that so that, you know, you could do that if you want. I like to leave some things undone, you know, so that, you know, you could do that yourself. Like you might have a little charm that you want to add to your journal and not take something off in order to put that on, you know. So anyways, and then this ledger is one of my favorites. It's just, the paper is so nice. It's nice heavy paper, and I'll be sad when it runs out. I've used almost the whole thing. This is a different ledger that had some blank pages in it. And then I did a whole bunch of these little envelopes. I had avocado dyed a ton of these little tiny envelopes a long time ago, and I just wanted to really use them, so I just added a piece of like lined or grid paper on the inside, and then glued some paper on the flaps and trimmed around them and inked them up, and then added these little guys so you can close it up with a string. I mean, this was a tedious project. I think I did about 40 of these. And then I did a little flower on a string as the closure. This is actually an envelope. It's an altered envelope. So this is the flap folded up and then, you know, glued together. And then I just cut the bottom off of the envelope and then cut a little notch out of the front. And then, yeah, so it's just an envelope folded in half. So there's some tags. This is from a flour sack. I don't know. I just really wanted to kind of talk about everything that was in these, just because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I just sort of skim through. So this is a, I don't remember what it is, but some, you know, here I want to talk about it, and then I don't even know what it is. It's some image I got probably off of Graphics Fairy or something. And then wherever there was strings, usually I just leave these and I don't add anything, but I felt like embellishing, and so I added some little punched paper shapes on the center strings in the signatures. So, because I felt like it. And yeah, this I had a autograph book that had a bunch of blank pages in it, and so I pulled some of those out, and I love the texture of this paper. It's got like, it's almost like kind of plasticky. It's weird, and you can see the lines, like I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's sort of like shiny. Anyway, and some more bank ephemera, some little divider cards, another little French flash card, some index page from a flower book. This is onion skin paper, one of the types of onion skin that I used. I used a few different ones. books. They, you know, they're different weights to it. Some are thinner, some are thicker, you know. This was a French language book. This is just, where did this paper come from? Oh, this was just out of a notebook and that I took apart. This is not onion skin, but it's vintage, like cotton, like 25% cotton paper. This is onion skin. This is a different onion skin. It's very thin. This is the kind that they used a lot in the 40s, like in the war, you know, like, and the reason they did that is because it was really lightweight and you could write, you know, 10 pages, and it hardly weighed anything when you were mailing it, you know, for that one stamp that you wanted to put on the envelope. And also, onion skin paper, the reason that people really liked it is because it's easy to erase off of it. And even like typed print, it's easy to erase. Anyway, little flower book. I'm really excited about these journals, you guys. I really had fun making them. This was another little sort of mini ledger. This is a different, like office type of print, you know, typing paper. It's all vintage paper. This was from somebody's checkbook. I don't want to take all this out, but this is another blank. Oh no, this is a canceled check. And then, you know, those Dover books are really cool. Some of the ones that, you know, are like frames and stuff, you know, those are all open source, and, you know, you can use those. Go to doverpublications.com. I think it's doverpublications.com, and check out some of the books that they have, or look for them on Amazon or on eBay. And, you know, a lot of their books, I mean, they do have some that are so copyright, you know, where you can't copy things, but it says right on the book if it's copyright free, you know. Anyway, just an idea. This is a different ledger. Just went crazy, you guys. Little tag with some collage. Another postcard. This was one that I think I scanned and then just printed off, and then backed it with some coffee dyed paper. See, this is another image from a Dover book that I just printed on cardstock. I've had those for so long. I used to love coloring. I used to get really into coloring, and I was always looking for weird stuff that I could color when I was at work. And so that's when I started sort of buying all those Dover books, so that I wasn't just coloring in like coloring books, you know. I like to color different things. So this is another letter to the bank, and then a little envelope, a little folded up envelope. Some more bird pages. I don't remember what these cards were, but I thought they were really cool. You'll see if you get one of these journals that they're kind of interesting. It like asks the name of the person, where they were born, who they were married to, who their spouse was, when they died, where they died, all that stuff. Maybe it was like for their, I don't know, like writing their obituary or something. I don't know. Anyway, another little piece of seam binding. I'm almost through, guys. Almost done. There's the last signature. And I definitely tried to leave some room in these, so the spacing between the signatures is going to be, actually the spacing between the signatures is going to be a little wider on the wider books, because those still only have 5 signatures. And, you know, I wanted to make sure there was enough room for me to add tags and for you to add stuff too. So I don't want them to be huge. And then I made these little charms. Tracie's little kit of her labels of definitions. I just thought it would be really cute to make some of those into charms. So I printed them at like 50%, so like 2 to a page, in other words. And then just glued them onto cardstock a couple times and cut them out and glued them again and cut them out again. Added an eyelet and then, you know, put them on some chain and then just use one of those little teeny tiny little paper clips that I'm obsessed with right now. These little teeny ones. So if anybody gets those, or if you bought some and you hate them, I'll take them. Send them to me. I love them. Yeah. They're not the easiest to operate, but I love them. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Not really. But really, if you have some and you hate them, I'll take them. I'll buy them from you. Okay. They weren't cheap. I got some on Amazon, but they were not like super cheap. Anyways, somebody sent me some in Happy Mail, and I was like, oh my God, I need more of those. So I went like on a hunt. Anyway, so sorry I was so blabbery, you guys, but I really did have a lot that I wanted to kind of get out for this video. This is an old sketchbook, like from probably the 60s. And I didn't add a pocket on the back of most of these journals just because I thought, you know, I usually do, but I put so many other pockets and stuff in these. I wanted to leave a space in case you wanted to add something there, like an envelope or something. So anyways, yeah, so there's a total complete flip through on one of these books. And this just happens to be Elizabeth. And I thought that was fitting for the book is Mrs. Browning's poems. Okay. So that's Elizabeth. And then we have Anna. And Anna, I used seam binding on her closure. And I'll just kind of open them so you can just see the inside briefly. But, you know, they're all very, very, very similar. I will definitely be adding 10 photos of each journal in the Etsy listings, and I'll try to get pictures of the interesting things. Okay. As far as listing these, so this is Emma, and Emma, what was the book? The Water Witch, it's called. But, you know, I didn't pay too much attention to what the title of the book was, to be honest. I just looked at the cover. So this is some more sari silk that I ironed. I just had to. The rose. And I just love those fussy cut roses for some reason. There's a little tag. But those paper clips are really sturdy. Like they grab on really tight. So that's one thing I like about them. There's little butterfly paper that I punched out. So, okay, so this is, who did I say this is? This is Emma. Emma. So, as far as listing, I am going to try to get these listed as soon as I can. I will say, how about if I just go, let's see, it's like 7:30 a.m. right now. It'll probably be 9 before I get this actually uploaded, Pacific time. I'll say I think I could probably get my listings done and up by, let's say 3 p.m. Okay, I think that's fair. 3 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, okay. So that's when I think I'll get these all listed. I'll do my best. Okay. If I get everything ready and all the pictures done and stuff, and it's like way before that, I'll wait, and I won't hit publish until about 3. But I have some other stuff that I'm going to be listing too, and I do want to show you that stuff really quick. So I'm just going to show you the covers because I think you guys get it, like the you know, the whole idea of the inside of them. They're all very, very similar. So anyways, this is Clara. Isn't that a beautiful cover? I mean, oh, it's just gorgeous. It's really thick. This book cover is very thick. So this is silk again that I ironed. This is Grace. And I love this Old-Fashioned Girl. Alcott. Louisa May Alcott. Okay, with the seam binding. Lots of, I don't know. I just thought they were very feminine and pretty, you know. So this is, what's her name? June. Okay, there's the cover. And the back. Just beautiful books. I just think they're beautiful book covers. And since they were, you know, destined for not a great life, not a great end, I'm glad that I'm able to grab them and you know, still love them. So so this is Sarah with there's the seam binding. It's really the only difference between a lot of them. Well, the covers are the biggest difference, but then the closures too, I guess. So this is Rose. It's a copy of Treasure Island. And then you guys saw the Dickens book. This is Ida. Okay, so see, this one is also 5 signatures. It does have more pages in it. I added more pages to the signatures on this one, and then there's another one that was much thicker. Okay, so these 2 books have a lot more pages in them than the other ones. Not a lot more. I shouldn't say a lot more, but I added at least 4 pages to each signature. So that's why I was saying they all have 5 signatures, but these have more pages. The same number of tags and stuff, but more pages. Okay. So this is Ida. Oh my gosh, I got a big pile. And then I might as well show you this one. This is Marie. Okay. And she's got some book tape too, some book repair tape. I love this chiffon silk. So pretty. And this one is, what's her name? Florence. So Robinson Crusoe. It's so pretty, you know. Really surprised me. One of the prettiest ones was a 5 Little Peppers book. So anyways, this is Tempest. Oh no, this is Tempest and Sunshine is the name of the book. But this is Alice. Okay. So Alice has been sitting around for quite a while, and I'm just glad that I was able to use this book because she was going in the garbage. And then this is another one of my favorites. Can you guess why? I love the orange. So pretty. I think those are spider mums. And this is Margaret. Isn't that cool? I just love that spine. So, and that's why I did the knotting on the inside. Although, you know, I love doing my signatures like this. I was going to do hidden spine on these, but that's just not really me. This is more me. So I'm just, you know, but I didn't want to do the knotting on the outside because I wanted you to still be able to see the spines. Okay, and then this is Mabel. I might have added some more pages to this one too. I can't remember. Yeah, so that's Mabel. And then this is that 5 Little Peppers book. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, it's a beautiful book cover. My mom said she used to read the 5 Little Peppers when she was a kid. Anyway, one of the prettiest covers, I think. And then this one is Minnie. That's why I named her Minnie. I gave this one Minnie because it was smaller. So this is the one that's only 3 signatures, and apparently it was a library book. So isn't that pretty? Robin Hood. So, and I don't treat the covers or anything on these. I don't seal them with anything or anything like that. If you want to do that, you know, then I say if you want it sealed or whatever, then I feel like you should do that. I just don't see any reason to do it. I mean, this book has been around for 100 years, and you know, I'm assuming that people aren't going to have them out like in hailstorms and stuff. But, you know, if you want your book to be waterproof, then I would say you should probably waterproof it somehow. But yeah. Okay. So that's the journals. Let me quickly show you the other stuff that I'm going to be listing. It's really just like tag packs and stuff. But I've got a bunch of them. Okay. So these, I will put these in, I didn't want to seal these up in clear bags yet because I wanted to show them to you. But when you get it, they'll be sealed up in clear bags and stuff, and they'll look all pretty. But so I'm calling these pocket packs because they're kind of like primarily pockets or envelopes. All right. And this is stuff that I've just made over the last year that is sort of like excess from, you know, from projects or from journals. And yeah, so it's just been there. So like this is the little pocket that I did a video on. I made a ton of these like tall skinny tags because I'm going to be making some like pockets to go along with these, and I just had so many that I know I won't make that many, so I shared a couple of those. And then, you know, I've done a bunch of these types of tags with the acetate and stuff. And then I had some extras of these little envelopes that I made, so I put some of those in there. And then I think I showed you guys these envelopes that I had made, kind of tailored after Wendy's, as she does. And so there's some tags and stuff inside there. And these are just made out of old vintage sheet music. Okay. So, you know, they're kind of beat up and, you know, but whatever. And then just some kind of oversized tags. And then this would be sort of like a writing board if you wanted to use it that way in one of these journals, even if you wanted to you know, do one of these packs and a journal or something. Anyway, so that's basically what's in these. There's about 8 or 9 pieces in each set. Some of them have different, you know, they just have different stuff, but you know, it's all stuff that I've made over the last year, like these envelopes. I think I showed these on a video too, you know, and these are pockets on the front that you could add tags to and stuff. So, you know, but yeah, so these will be listed too, and I'll try to take really good pictures of these so you can see what you'll get in each one. There's 12 of these altogether. Okay. So I don't want to take the time to like go through every single one, but I wanted you to know the basics. Okay. So there's 12 of those. And then, there's 8 of these. Well, 6 of them are going to be in the brown paper bags, just plain, okay? Because they've got a collage bag inside the bag, okay? So 6 of these first 6 have one of these that I had done on a video. I had actually a few people ask me if I was going to be selling these, and I wasn't sure, and so I didn't say yes or no, but I decided I might as well. So these have the little notepad in the center, and then some journaling space, a couple of little tags, and then you know, the little pockets with the windows. Okay, so the first 6 of these, I call them this and that, and so 1 through 6 has one of those in it. Okay, because I only had 6 of these that were totally done. And then some kind of collaged envelope. And then a library card or a library pocket with a tag. Okay. And then one of those round tags that I had made on a live stream one night. Okay. So I don't know, it's like 5 or 6 pieces, but you know, if you count the tags and stuff, it's right around 8. Okay, so there's 6 of those that pretty much have the same thing in them. And then the biggest difference with well, these are a little different because there's only 2 of these. Okay, I just put one of these little notebooks. These are just a little junky little notebook. Okay, I stamped 2 silver oranges. I think I was adding these in with some other purchase or something. I don't remember. So there's one of those, and then 2 kind of oversized tags, and then one of the tall skinny tags with charms. And then I just added a couple of like kind of pretty vintage postcards into each one of these, and then a smaller tag. Okay. So, and then the collage envelope. All right, so there's 2 of these. Okay, so that's number 7, and then this one is number 8. I'll just show it to you real quick. So this one has those postcards. I love that chicken. And then the little notebook, and then the oversized tags. Okay. So that is the deal with these. All right, so 8 this and that, and then 12 pocket packs, and then 16 journals. I have a ton of listings I need to do. Oh my God. If I don't get them all up by 2 o'clock, please don't get super mad at me. Just understand that, you know, maybe I had to go to the store or something. Okay. I love you guys. And thank you for watching, and sorry that it was so long. It could have been a lot longer, but I probably couldn't have talked much longer. So anyways, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye for now.